Fuck you with a sturdy spirit of justice for more investigation. Now, I will just one note I will have before we begin with the carrying on of this investigation is, last episode I said that nothing seemed off to me about the tomb, and actually in hindsight when editing there was one statue missing from the right hand side facing inward, so we'll have to deal with that I presume shortly. But first we've got to go chat with Dirk, May 18th, Detention Center, Visitors Room.
Apollo, here to see your old man, how are you?
Dirk, are they done interrogating you?
Nope, fun hasn't even started. I imagine they'll really rake me over the coals, though.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not just going to execute you on the spot. Surprised and delighted. I don't even want to think about how harsh the interrogation method will be. Yeah, but that's nothing compared to what they'll do if they find him guilty. I thought he was already counted as guilty of Anmara's. Well, I guess they're going to sentence him to like two executions if he's found guilty of this one as well. So they got to run the due process must be carried out.
They've branded me a terrorist who killed the previous queen and now the justice minister. If found guilty of these crimes, I'll be facing a very public execution.
Public execution? This is worse than I thought.
Come on, son, turn that frown upside down. You'll jinx us. As soon as I get out of here, I'll take you to that tasty hash house I know.
I'd like that. I really need to focus on what happened. Time to switch to work mode. Dirk, can you tell me what happened? Oh, and there's also something else I want you to take a look at. Sorry, so just really, really quick. Right over here, you can see this. Well, it's not that the statue is missing, but it's like been broken off at the waist or something here. But that's the only funny thing I found. Of course, we'll have time to investigate it shortly. I'm actually not sure what he said he meant when he said he had something to show him, just the Founder's Orb. Nevertheless, let's show him everything. Ha!
I'm proud of you, son. You'll really become a fine lawyer.
At least it means I'm qualified to defend you.
I think the day would come where you'd come to my defense. I'm one lucky man. Now I can die in peace.
Whoa, slow down. I'm gonna prove you innocent, so...
Oh, just pulling your legs, son.
When he's in a slammer, Dirk is Dirk. He seems to frequently be Dirk as it happens.
Oh, I see you got it safely out of the tomb.
Why did you throw it at me like that?
I want you to listen carefully, son. The orb must not fall into Khura'In's hands. Not ever.
I thought Minister Inga was the one who was after it? He was the one who lent it to Professor Buff to study, after all. So haven't you exposed his crime now?
I have, but it's more connected to this relic than meets the eye. Much more. And whatever it is, I can't help feeling that it could turn this entire kingdom upside down.
I did have to wonder, with Inga dead, who's our main antagonist, and I don't really know what Khura'In's whole deal is, because we only ever had a chance to converse with her once, and we didn't get too much from it. It was a pretty short chat. Well, twice now, I guess. Khura'In Sigatar Khura'In, age 43, the Grand Priestess and Queen of Khura'In. It's said that she can channel the dead. And Rayfa, daughter of Khura'In and Princess of Khura'In, who is more than just a little spoiled. Mr. Wright's former assistant, who's currently training in Khura'In. I'm told she can channel the dead. You said something like that before. It's like Dirk's intuition is at it again.
Khura'In will do anything to retrieve this, so guard it well, son. At least until tomorrow's trial. Then you can, I don't know, just throw it over your shoulder. Who cares at that point? I'll die, so I don't really care. That's the only remaining photo of your father. Take good care of it.
I will. I'm just surprised to see it after all these years.
I had a tough time tracking it down and retrieving it. It was taken by some European tourists who just happened to be watching your father. I had one of my men go to Europe to look them up and ask whether we could have it.
You went through all that trouble?
I did. So don't go losing it or anything.
I said I'd take good care of it, didn't I? Huh. What did it mean? European folks who were watching Apollo's father? Just happened to be watching your father. What does that mean? Sorry, Dirk, just gotta look around the place first before we have a chat. Don't do it, Athena. Don't ring that bell. Who, me? Perish the thought. I mean, would I ever do something so childish? According to Widget, you would. Alright, put your bracelet away already and talk about unfair. For someone who wears their heart on the sleeve as much as Athena, I have to imagine there were like 6 ticks going off. That guard standing so still and with such great posture. I wonder if he spends his days just watching the dust dance in the sunlight. Wait a second. Don't you do that in court sometimes, Athena? I mean, you noticed? Don't think you can take it easy just because I'm the lead lawyer on this one. He's got his major sharp eyes. You have your major sharp ears, which is how you heard the guards coming last episode. Everyone has their thing. Alright, let's chat about the incident. Dirk, what happened in there? You didn't really kill Minister Inga, did you?
Oh, well, The thing is, I don't remember. I really don't know.
Huh? I thought he seemed pretty out of it at the time.
I remember seeing the mural of the founder right as I entered the tomb. I got all dizzy immediately after that. Next thing I knew, I was standing there with a bloody knife in my hand, and covered in Inga's blood.
So you think. So you don't remember meeting with him?
No, the last thing I remember after entering the tomb is feeling really dizzy.
So did they just wash the blood off without, like, taking any samples, or did they give you a new set of clothes exactly the same as your old ones? There's no way he could explain what happened if he can't remember anything. Yeah. We're gonna learn that, like, because even if Inga's dead, his master assassin is probably still out there, we think. The Lady Kira figure. If Khura'In's a channeler, maybe she's been channeling the old Lady Kira? One wonders. Anyway, I forget where I was going with that, sorry. Right, well, I was wondering if maybe, this isn't dissimilar to what Maya described as happening in the trial where you're defending her. I'm trying to remember, did they actually mention how she got knocked out? Did someone just, like, chloroform her? And it still strikes me as very odd that Phoenix got knocked out from terminal lumbago. So I'm wondering if this Lady Kira has some kind of, like, sleep darts, or, like, some other kind of drug that messes with her perception of things. Anyway.
I suppose there's no getting out of this one.
Well, we can't give up yet!
I was just messing with you, son.
Well, stop! It's not funny!
Sorry.
Sheesh. Nothing seems to faze him, not even being arrested for murder.
This is going to be one tough case, Apollo. Not only have I been charged with Inga's murder, but I've also been charged with Amara's assassination from 23 years ago.
You're on trial for 2 charges?
Khura'In is practically licking her chops just thinking about my public execution. Guess it means we can't afford to lose our heads, huh?
I don't know how you can laugh at a time like this.
So, son, I take it you'll be defending me at my trial.
Of course. You can count on me.
That's my boy. It's like your nerves are as steely as those vocal cords of yours. After all, you've got the Defense Culpability Act to contend with, too.
Oh, right. So if you're found guilty, then I'll be charged with the same double homicide, huh?
Don't tell me you forgot about that.
I'll be fine. I just have to make sure we win this one.
You sure? Because you don't sound very fine.
Apollo? What was that about an assassination 23 years ago? Yes, let's get into that. Right, of course they would never have charged him with that publicly because he was, up until now, a fugitive. About that incident 23 years ago, that was when the previous Queen Amara was assassinated, wasn't it?
Yes. Someone set her private residence on fire. She lost her life in the ensuing blaze.
What? There's a lot of weird coinkydinks going on with people dying in fires and people being drugged in a sort of similar way. Does Lady Kira have the ability to set people on fire and drug them? And has she just been going around the various countries causing trouble? And you were arrested for the crime? It bears noting also that this is still counted as episode 5, even though the case is a different one. Why would they arrest you, Mr. Samadi? Weren't you just a lawyer back then? What relation could you have had with the Queen?
About that. Mara was... well, she was my wife. I may not look the part, but I was once husband to a queen. In short, I was royalty.
What? No way! Are you saying you won the heart of the reigning queen?
Oh, I wasn't saying it. Come on, you're talking to a guy who honed his prowess against witnesses on the stand. Even a queen is no match for this dragon's glare.
Wow, you're like something else. So, was a verdict ever reached, Dirk?
I acted as my own attorney and won. Until I was accused of fabricating evidence, that is. Then it all went south.
Where have I heard a story like that before? What happened after that?
I made a run for it.
You ran? But why?
I didn't kill Amara, and I didn't fabricate any evidence. But if I had stuck around for a retrial, I'd have been found guilty for sure. Couldn't allow that to happen. Amara's true killer would never face justice if I did. So I left my law practice behind and went underground.
But that was 23 years ago. Are you telling me that after all these years, you still haven't discovered the truth?
Yeah. The fact that it was an arson means that the crime scene was reduced to ashes. There's little in the way of evidence left. It's just been brick wall after brick wall.
I guess that means it's all up to me to figure it out, huh? Along with Minister Inga's murder, of course. I think I'm gonna be sick.
Come on, son, don't look so down. With you on the case, it'll work out somehow.
I hope he's right.
Oh, say, son, do you remember my office?
Sure. Remember that messy, dimly lit room?
The file of a mouse on Amoro's assassination is kept there. I think it might help you on this case. Do you remember how to get there?
Let me think. You go through the sewer, right? I recall going in through a manhole. How can I not, Dirk? I hated how I always got so dirty getting there. And that stench! That old case is important too, but I should probably focus on the minister's murder first. I'm afraid your time is up. I'm afraid your time is up. Nayuta! It's time for the prisoner's interrogation. So begone, you putrid-headed criminal-abetting lawyer. Wait! Don't tell me! You're the prosecuting attorney? Sorry? Criminal abetting? I thought you changed your mind on Trucy and, apologized for that. Or you're just back to the old ways since Dirk's here? All that character development from that case is just gone? Alright, fine. Be that way, Nayuta. I'll remain huffy in your general direction until your inevitable little moral about-face in the last trial. See how you like it. Wait, don't tell me. You're the prosecuting attorney?
What? That would mean...
There's two kids going up against each other. Is there a problem here? You bet there is! He's your father! And your point is? My relation to the accused is irrelevant. The fact remains I am a prosecutor. No, that's not what I don't think I'm getting through to him.
Nayuta. Long time no see, son. How have you been? Look, I hear you've been serving Khura'In, rather faithfully in fact. Whatever happened to our dream of taking her down and changing this country, son?
The past is the past.
What do you mean? Why are you doing this?
It's simple. People change. The Nayuta you knew exists no more.
Listen, son, I don't know what made you change like this.
You don't? Am I going mad, or did Inga specifically threaten him with Nayuta the last time they were on the phone? And you were all like, no, not Nayuta! I mean, he didn't say it out loud, I don't think. Did he? I can't remember. But that was the implication, right? So sure, you know what made him change like this. Inga's threatening him. Or that would be a reasonable conclusion to come to, anyway.
Listen, son, I don't know what made you change like this, but you're still my boy, even if you prosecute my case. The rest of the Defiant Dragons and I eagerly await your return. Whenever you're ready, we'll welcome you back with open arms.
As I said, I've moved on. Now let us waste no more time, for flowers do not blossom simply from talk of the past. Nayuta, I get the feeling there's something he wants to say but can't. Guard, move the accused to the interrogation room.
Yes, sir! This way, you rebel scum! Oh, watch it! Not so rough, will ya?
So rough seems to be the only way they do things around here. Nayuta, is he seriously going to prosecute his own father? Anyway, I guess he's gone. And we've already got all the talking points with Athena done, so off we go. As Apollo has said, it does not appear that we are currently allowed to go ahead back to Dirk's place and grab those notes, so I guess we have to go to the tomb first, which is a little weird. You'd think that would be the more pressing thing, because it's unlikely that they're going to mess with the crime scene. Anyone would be so bold as to mess with the crime scene at this point, with the police and Khura'In's Royal Guard hanging around. But I could totally see someone breaking into Dirk's place and stealing a file. That's going to be completely unattended at the moment. So for me, that would be priority, getting that, but... Nevertheless, May 18th, Khura'In Palace, Amara's tomb. So, this is the tomb of Amara, the previous queen of Khura'In. It's really lavish. I guess you could say it's fit for a queen.
Hey, is the faceless woman in that mural over there, Amara?
No, that's the Holy Mother. She's the one who brought spirit channeling to Khura'In.
Oh, right, the woman in the orb.
Oh, it's you two. Getting right down to business, I see. Hi, Emma. We heard you'd give us a hand if we needed it. Yep, Mr. Edgeworth asked me to help what I could. So it's been quite a while since you've been back in Khura'In, I hear. Yeah, more than 10 years, in fact. Oh, well, you sure didn't waste any time. I mean, you're already mixed up in a murder. I thought about that. Apollo still knows his way around after all that time, and I thought about that. Like, would I be able to know my way around somewhere from 10 years ago? Maybe. I'm trying to think, what place would I have been 10 years ago? Middle school or something. Would I know my way around my middle school if I went back? That's wild, anyway. 10 years. Over 10 years, really. Well, you sure didn't waste any time. I mean, you're already mixed up in a murder. You're as big a trouble magnet as Mr. Wright. Please, don't say that. It looks already bad enough as it is. Emma, I hear Prosecutor Salmati has requested your services again. He seems to have really taken a liking to you. I mean, his ephemeral holiness. I don't mind that he approved of me and my abilities. It's just, his people skills need some serious work. When he manages to smile and compliments my work, it's hard to say no. Plus, working on investigations, but flying back and forth between here and home every few days with no days off, that's been tough, and the lack of sleep has been brutal on my skin. To make matters worse, the defendant in this case is someone I know. I mean, how could this get any worse? So it sounds like they got one complicated prosecutor-detective relationship going on. Was that a crush I detected also? Or am I reading too much? Sorry, the line I missed was, plus working on investigations overseas is a priceless experience. Hey, Emma! In spite of everything, check it out! Your attorney's badge. Huh. Oh, never mind, we already have this. But the orb, anything to say about that? Oh, you must need my forensic expertise. Just leave it to me. Oh, actually, I was wondering if you see anything strange about this. Oh. Why isn't she saying anything? Oh. And nothing on the photograph? Neither. We better get Emma's okay before we start snooping around. Righty you are. Speaking of, Amara's tomb. So this is the tomb of the previous queen. Yes, Queen Amara was laid to rest here. She lost her life in an arsonist's blaze. What a tragic end. I heard this tomb sits on the actual site of her residence before it was burned down. That seemed like it would cause, like, the soil would be all weird for building on or something. Well, they spent a small fortune on it. A not so small fortune on it, rather. They built it on the same spot so her soul could rest in peace. So this is where the fire happened, huh? Why do you think Minister Inga was holding Miss Faye captive here? It's the perfect spot if you think about it. It's close to his private quarters, which made it easy to keep an eye on his prisoner. And the courtyard is only open to the royal family, so we had little fear of prying eyes. Plus, the tomb is normally locked and only the royal family is allowed access. So that's why you picked this place. How long had Miss Faye been held captive? About 6 days. Really? That long? It appears that she was severely weakened by her prolonged confinement. Yeah, she normally has a pretty big appetite, and I doubt Inga was satisfying it, for one thing. She passed out as soon as she was freed and is now on an IV drip at the hospital. She's been asleep ever since. No doubt. Poor Miss Faye. I hope she gets better soon. You and me both. About the victim Minister Inga. He was the kingdom's Minister of Justice, correct? Yes, Inga Khura'In was the second most powerful figure in Khura'In. Plus, he was married to the Queen. It seems strange that someone of his status would abduct someone. Apparently, he only told a few of his most loyal subordinates about his plan. That way, there was little chance of the police or even the Queen finding out. Loyal subordinates, you say? Who? As far as we know, he went to the tomb alone. What was Inga hoping to gain by getting his hands on the orb? That I don't know. But I'm working on it. The spiritual power, or to hold it over Khura'In somehow? I wonder if it really was for what politician Wimperson said. I must deliver it to my benefactor at all costs! What do they want that relic for anyway? It's something to do with an old legend. My patron seeks the great power said to be granted to whoever solves its secret. A great power that is said to be bestowed on whoever solves the orb's secret. In Khura'In, only those who can channel spirits are said to be fit to rule. Was that why Inga wanted such power? Did he want to be king? That was sort of my working theory for a while, but now he's dead, it seems too simple. Emma, have you determined the cause of death? Blood loss from a stab wound. A single stab in the back was enough to cause the victim to bleed to death. The estimated time of death is 3 p.m., which is when Dirk came onto the scene. Oh, well, he showed up at like 3 p.m. sharp, did he not? I don't know, maybe it was more like 2:55. Inga's autopsy report added to the court record. Yeah, we got to the body pretty early, so I guess they would have had a pretty accurate estimation. Stabbed from behind, cause of death is blood loss, time of death is approximately 3 p.m. Anything else going on there? May 18th, approximately 3 p.m. Blood loss from the stab wound in the back, not much more. Any suspects besides Dirk? Maya, I guess. No, he, Maya, and the minister were the only ones there. And Maya had been tied up until she was freed by the Queen's Royal Guard. Oh, good. Could someone have been hiding somewhere in here? Not likely. I was told this tomb was searched from top to bottom right after the murder. Yeah, but by Khura'In's people. And during that time, the Royal Guard set up a perimeter to prevent anyone from escaping. In other words, the crime scene was completely sealed off. It would appear so. No way for a third party to escape without being spotted, so... Great, it's another one of those convoluted locked room mysteries. Emma, do you mind if we start looking around? Sure, I've already got the okay. Knock yourselves out. Oh, and here. It's a diagram the police drew of the tomb, including the broken statue here. 2 chairs, the sarcophagus. portrait. I thought I'd give you a copy to help your investigation along. Thank you. Thank you. Tomb diagram. Amara's sarcophagus is in the very center of the room. Oh, and let me know if you need my forensic expertise. Don't you dare keep all the fun to yourselves, you hear? You don't need to worry about that. Besides, I'd hardly classify this as fun. I would! Any other thoughts about the autopsy or the diagram before we carry on, though? Nada. Has the murder weapon not been found, I wonder? You'd think they'd have shown us. So I'll have a look at that broken statue in a moment. So this is Amara's sarcophagus. Let's take a closer look. Big purple, ornate-looking curtain. Hey, this curtain's open, Apollo. Easy. I thought there was going to be a body there. It's one big sarcophagus. They say the mummy of Amara, the former queen, rests inside. They said it was Emma, sorry. They say the mummy of the former queen, Amara, rests inside. A mummy, huh? Rats, it's locked. Hey, don't touch that! You mean we can't search inside it? Not a chance! Besides, it's not something anyone would try to opening anyway. What if the real killer's hiding inside? Hey! Anyone in there? Don't do that! You're going to get us cursed! Cursed? The queen likely bears a grudge toward the living after such a violent, painful death, so no one dares touch the sarcophagus for fear of incurring our wrath. I'm surprised Miss Science over here believes in that. Oh no, Apollo. What am I gonna do? Don't look at me! In any case, the sarcophagus is temperature controlled. It's kept really cold to preserve the mummy. So even if someone did decide to hide inside it, they would eventually freeze to death. Oh, I see. Still, if they bundled up, I bet a person could hide in there for a little while. Interesting. It'd have to be someone royal if they had the key, though. Oh, unless, I guess Dirk can pick the lock. Maybe. If he can, probably someone else can. Oh, that's where... Oh, right here. So the body was killed right beside... the body was killed... the minister was killed right behind the sarcophagus. Interesting. A weird sightline. But what I'm most curious about first is this broken statue here. One of the statues is broken. Let's take a closer look. Little Magatama bits lying around, other shards. It's a Magatama, I think. Did it come from the broken statue? Look, Apollo, there's another one. But the other statues only have one each. Hey, you're right. Maybe the statue was special or something? Doubtful. Oh, it's hollow, and there's something sparkly over here. Huh, hang on, hold on. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on. This thing's more splinter than statue now. The bullet from the victim's gun did a real number on it. A gun, you say? It seems like something you get cursed for, you know? She's so worried about that, is she? In Minister Inga's case, I'd say getting your ticket punched is curse enough. Yeah, but don't curses extend to the afterlife? You need to stop taking what Nate says so seriously. I'm perfectly capable of thinking for myself. And as for Lay Sparkly? Oh, there's something shiny down there. Bullet? Oh, not quite. It's a pendant. There's blood on it. Wonder who it belongs to. All we know is it's not the victim's. No one in the royal family recognized it. Well, no one in the family omitted to recognize it. Emma, did you lift any fingerprints from it? I did, but I wasn't able to get a clean one. That's too bad. But the blood turned out to be the victim's. It means it must have fallen here in the course of the murder. It might be Dirk's. I should ask him about it later. While I've added it, patted a door with a pink butterfly. The fingerprint has yet to be analyzed, but the blood belongs to Inga. Curious. So whomever... that's not good. If it is Dirk's, then the blood on it implies that whoever was wearing it was right beside Inga when he died. And this here? Look, there's a bullet here. Oh, that's what that is. Can't really tell from here. It's from the pistol that the victim was carrying. My guess is he tried to shoot his attacker, but missed, and the bullet ended up here. We've already determined the rifling marks to be a match to his gun. Rifling marks? Aren't those... Oh, shall I explain? The science behind it is absolutely fascinating. No, we're good. Lawyers. I think they're so smart. You do realize we can hear you? Oh, I think she knows. Curious. It almost looks like someone placed the bullet here as an explanation for why this was broken. And they were the actual ones who broke it. Maybe I mean, because you wouldn't think a bullet would actually be able to smash that. Oh, maybe they smashed the statue because it had a bullet mark on it or something in a way that implied that suggested something about the crime scene. Like it would be like from a weird angle and show that Inga was actually suspended above the room or something like that. The sarcophagus is surrounded by a curtain. I bet someone could have hidden it behind it. True, but that's one of the many places the royal guard checked after storming in. Wow, they were really thorough. Yes, well, apparently one of their members loves mystery novels. He peered into every nook and cranny with an almost frightening amount of gusto. And when he was done, he said, "Very interesting. It's like one of those locked room mysteries." Sounds like he's in the wrong line of work. And the blood? Wow, it's covered in blood. With a blood spatter this large, it must have gotten all over the killer, too. Come to think of it. There was blood on Dirk's clothes. The circumstantial evidence points to Dirk being the killer. That's what I'd conclude if I were a cop too. Why are things always so bleak for me? One wonders. Guess this is where Inga collapsed when he died. Better take a closer look. Oh, wow, a gun, a mobile phone, and a knife. The knife looks nothing like the one Dirk was holding. So this is the murder weapon? Emma, did you find any prints on it? Yep, and they were super clear. They belong to one Dirk Sodmati. That's not good. Were there any others? There was one more print from another individual, but it was too smudged to identify. It's probably an old print from someone else who had handled the knife. No. Yet another piece of unhelpful info to add to our ever-growing pile. We're not gonna log that? Huh. They've already taken the body away. It's kind of sad how familiar I've become with body outlines. I have a photo of the body if you're interested. Very. Right? It looked so much more red in the first time we saw Dirk over the body, but I guess it was just the lighting, because it was like shot from over here, and you could see his ponytail and everything. He was stabbed right in the back. The poor guy was practically skewered. All right, now that knife looks a little more like the one I saw Dirk holding. The 3D model we saw on the floor a moment ago didn't. It's one heck of a gun. It's got 4 barrels, or is that like, are 2 of them like air vents or something? It's pretty wild anyway. Why would he have had his mobile phone out at the time if we think Dirk was supposed to be down here? Huh. Nothing else strikes me as particularly off about this, though. Except, I suppose it's a bit interesting the way the blood kind of trickles down down his back and onto this robe thing, but only on the one side. He was stabbed right in the back. The poor guy was practically skewered. What's he wearing on his arms? Oh, those are the cuffs of justice. Seems to be a tradition here for the Minister of Justice to wear those forearm cuffs. That was the last thing I was noticing. Thought they were just part of the suit. They look like they're made of a thick fabric, so I guess they aren't for protection. Maybe they're for keeping the sleeves out of the way when handling documents. Yeah, that's probably their original purpose. But over the years, the reason for wearing them is probably forgotten. So now they're just one of many traditional things that people do without knowing why.
Oh, I get it. Kind of like the way you roll up your sleeves, huh?
Or your psychology, if we're going there.
No, I happen to know why I started, thank you very much.
Photo of Inga's body, he was stabbed in the back with a knife. I just remember that the knife Dirk was holding looked like way bigger. It looked like 3 times that size. It was practically a machete. Not that I want to be stabbed with a knife with this size either. I wonder if this is Inga's cell phone. It should be. His fingerprints are all over it. Do you know if he talked with anyone recently? There were a few calls logged between him and his underlings. They're all members of the secret police who were directly under the minister's control.
You mean like spies?
No, I don't think that's quite it. So the minister was armed, huh? With some kind of gun. That's a 4-shot pistol. He had it for self-defense, apparently. But he won't be firing anything anytime soon.
Huh? He was carrying a broken gun around for show?
Well, evidently not if the bullet was fired, unless it was by someone else. No, we recovered a bullet here, which means the gun probably broke as the minister fired its last round. Thing is, the gun's chambers are all empty. Yet that one bullet is the only bullet we could find. That is strange. Where did the other 3 go? The real killer, perhaps. Perhaps they were part of... Maybe I was right, that they were what shattered... they left something identifiable on the statue, so the killer broke it.
Maybe Dirk ate them?
We can ask the next time we see him. Just be ready for his predictably shocking answer. This chair over here was maybe where Maya was held. Miss Faye was apparently tied to this chair. Let's take a closer look. There's glass shards at the bottom? No, just the rope. We should try to cover every angle possible here. Let's change our perspective and take a careful look around. I see blood somewhere. At the bottom of the chair here. Oh wow, there's a whole... I didn't notice anything the first time we came in here, except for the broken statue, and there's... This room is full of stuff. Look, there's a blood stain on one of the chair legs.
Really? Oh, hey, you're right, I completely missed that.
Let's move the chair so we can check under it. Preferably someone with gloves is doing that, or you're doing it with your sleeve or something. It's in a square shape. There's more blood under the chair leg. I wonder what it's doing there. I have some luminol here. Why don't you do some testing around it? Sure thing. Boop. 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 It's giving me a Windows loading icon on my mouse. That's not encouraging. Not a... Oh, never mind. Look! A trail, no less. I didn't think I sprayed that much. Leading right from the tomb. That certainly does imply that there was a killer hiding in there while Dirk and Inga were talking. The bloodstain leads all the way to the sarcophagus. I think it looks more like it leads out from there, but...
Emma, is this Minister Inga's blood?
Hold on 1 second. Huh? That's strange. I didn't get a match.
So then, whose blood is it?
Dirk and Miss Faye weren't wounded as far as we know.
And the blood's been wiped up by someone for some reason.
Yeah, That's strange too. Mysterious bloodstain added to the court record. That'll be the real killers. He's already wiped up and does not belong to the victim. So it's starting to sound like Inga did manage to shoot the real killer. We gotta channel and ask him. He'll come back and be like, "What the hell? I'm not helping you guys with this case." Poor Miss Faye. She must have been tied up to this chair. I can just imagine how much her backside must hurt after being sitting here for so long. It would have been torture for you, I bet. I mean, you don't know how to sit still. If by that you mean I like to stay active, then I have to agree with you. Down, you two. Focus on the murder, please. Nothing we can seem to be able to examine about the rope. But the square bloodstain? There's a bloodstain on the floor. It's already been mostly wiped up, but the stain leads all the way to the sarcophagus. Wonder whose blood it is. Yeah. These bonds were cut? Is that it? It looks that way. So the killer tried to free Maya for one reason or another, and got blood all over the chair, but didn't think to check underneath it to wipe this up, is my best guess. This table over here? This is the grape juice Inga was drinking. He was probably nervous before his meeting with Dirk. So he drank grape juice? I'm not seeing the logic here. Mr. Wright told me all about it when he was hospitalized a few years ago. He said grape juice has something in it that helps you relax. Really? Are you sure he was talking about regular, plain old grape juice? Because it sounds like he was talking about the fermented variety. No, he couldn't have meant that. I mean, we're talking about a medical facility. They wouldn't have allowed something like that in. Right. Let's just leave it at that. I wonder if that line is in the Japanese or not. Probably. It's like a small army of monks all neatly lined up. It looks like they're facing the sarcophagus in prayer. If you look carefully, each one has a slightly different expression. I wonder if they used real people as models. Some are frowning, some are smiling. Huh? There's one that looks like he's trying his hardest not to burst out laughing. Really? Huh. I wonder why. Maybe it's like those times when things are so intense that you can't help but laugh? You know, like at funerals and stuff? I went through all the trouble depicting that. Talk about going overboard. Murals up here as well. There's a painting up there, but I can't see it very well from here. Right, we'll move, if you insist. There are a few paintings, actually, depicting various stories. Doesn't look quite like the Holy Mother, unless it's a very young Holy Mother. And then a fire. Oh, this will be Queen Amara, then. Dying in the fire, and then there's the Devil Dirk. And then here's his execution, still on the horizon. Is this supposed to be Amara channeling a spirit? It looks like the spirit of some country's sultan or something. And she seems to be conveying something to his retainers? She's on fire. This must be Amara's assassination as allegedly carried out by Dirk. They made him look evil. This is the weirdest one of all. Is that supposed to be Dirk facing his punishment in the afterlife? Anyway. I guess that's the last one. Except for the other side. Yeah, I guess we're supposed to see this as a happy ending. Yeah, except nobody came out of this story happy. No joke. Funny she mentions moments that are so tragic you can't help but burst out laughing, because I was talking about The Last of Us 2 earlier, how I basically was laughing through the whole thing. I've heard some people say that it's typical for your response to The Last of Us 2 to be your same response to grief, and I do often process grief with laughter, so that's an interesting thought there, that maybe The Last of Us 2 was doing its job, that I wasn't taking anything seriously and was laughing the whole time, because that's how I would actually respond to that situation in real life. Anyway, just came to my mind all of a sudden. As for this one, this creepy little cherub thing, a baby on a lotus blossom? That's one strange painting. Apparently that's part of a mural depicting the life and times of Queen Amara. Figured as much. We should look at this side first. You know, like a storyboard or something. So that baby's supposed to be Amara. That's what I figured with the little tulip or whatever it is. This one depicts Amara preaching to the faithful. It's hard to put into words, but I've never seen anything like it. Let's see, the next one is... Is that Dirk? Why does he have horns? My best guess is it depicts the first time Amara and Dirk met. So he's supposed to be some kind of demon who's seducing her? Well, he was successful since they got married after that. That's all I have to say about that. The mural continues on the opposite wall, which we already checked first. Someone could have hid behind these curtains. Here, I'll go give it a try. Oh, can you tell I'm hiding here? No, I can't tell at all. That's it! That's the perfect hiding place!
We did it, Barry! We solved the case!
Sorry to burst your bubble, but the Royal Guard searched the tomb high and low right after they stormed in, and they said no one else was in here besides Mr. Inga, Dirk, and Miss Faye. Well, back to the drawing board, I guess.
This is my brilliant deduction! Destroyed in 3 sentences!
It's okay. Athena, we'll figure something else out. Athena is so me-coded. Actually, I'm sort of feeling like I'm running out of things to check here. Oh, I didn't check the actual mural at the top here, did I? I do not. It looks like the Holy Mother was painted here to watch over Amara's sarcophagus. It's pretty cool that she has like this huge wreath and crown of like tulip petals or whatever, or lotus, I guess they are. And Amara being a sort of like a more junior ruler only had like the one little tulip. It looks like the Holy Mother was painted here to watch over Amara's sarcophagus. So it's like this tomb is protected by the founder? That must be so reassuring to those she left behind. Only one problem, they didn't paint the eyes she needs to do said watching. She's got ears? Come to think of it, she doesn't have a mouth to smile down on the tomb with either. It's actually kind of creepy. Wonder if being watched over by something like that gives the queen nightmares. Hey, keep that up and the founder just might come and watch over you too. And as for the not so broken statues? Oh, never mind. Look, one of the broken statues is broken. Yeah, but it's kind of hard to see from here. Let's check it out when we get a little closer. Yes, already did. Sorry, I must be looking for something else. Oh, these little... I'm not sure what they are. Basins full of ash. It's full of ash. My guess would be this is an incense burner. Wouldn't have been mine. Hey, look, Apollo. There's something in the ashes. Let's see what it is. Oh. Ain't that a pretty little thing? Is that a gemstone? Wonder what it's doing here. It almost looks like something Inga would wear. I've got this one covered, Apollo. Would you like to hear my brilliant theory? Well, I guess it wouldn't do any harm. You know how people make wishes by throwing coins into a fountain, right? You know, on second thought, I'm good. What? You sure you don't need to hear my theory? I was just about to get to the good part. Let's just ask Emma. That'll be much quicker. Excuse me, Emma. What's this gemstone doing here? Oh, that. It's not a gem, it's a button. Oh yeah, I somehow thought it seemed like it was part of his outfit. It's not a gem, it's a button. Albeit a very expensive one from the victim's jacket. Must have fallen off and gotten in there somehow. Seems like a pretty big coincidence. See? Every puzzle has an answer, Athena. Well, I thought my idea was pretty good. Wait, what's with this soot? See here on the gemstone? Oh, hey, you're right. Inga's button discovered in the ashes of the tomb's incense burners, caked in soot, and not much else to spy in there. Sorry, we're already on 2 pages of evidence? My god, look how it grows. It's a good sign, though. I think we've covered just about everything. We should go over what we've learned so far. Yes, we should. I've got some sense of what might have happened earlier today, but not a full picture. Oh, of course, we're probably going to have a seance for Inga rather than a channeling for him, aren't we? And we're going to see something in we're going to see his last moments. I was wondering why it felt like it was so weird. I was like, clearly, if we just knew what Inga saw in his last moments, this would be much easier to understand. But if we could just ask him, then it's going to be real straightforward. So they're probably going to do a seance instead. I somehow forgot about the seances. It's been like 3 cases since we had one. Maybe we should go over what we've learned so far. For starters, we're dealing with a locked room murder, but instead of the tomb being locked, it was being cordoned off by the royal guard. And after the murder, no one was found to be hiding inside. Which to me says the royal guard is willfully ignorant, and the only explanation I can find for that is that someone on the royal family is the murderer. It was Rafa, the brat. Did a quintuple front flip and stabbed her father in the back and then sprinted out the front door. Played all innocent. Right, in addition, we also know that Dirk's fingerprints are all over the murder weapon. The curtain around the sarcophagus was drenched in the victim's blood on one side. The blood must have also gotten on the killer when they stabbed the minister from behind. Sorry, that was Athena. All of that was Athena. The curtain around the sarcophagus was drenched in the victim's blood on one side. The blood must have also gotten on the killer when they stabbed the minister from behind. Dirk had blood on him when the crime scene was first discovered. Unfortunately, he doesn't remember what happened. Yeah, see how red it is from this angle? I think it's just spooky lighting, but that's why I didn't recognize it as Inga at first. This is not good. So what we know so far is things couldn't be worse for our case. And that's still an understatement somehow. Yeah, it's looking pretty grim. Oh, if you two are done here, I'll have to ask you to leave. Go on, scoot. Something wrong, Emma? Why are you trying to give us the boot? It's just easy if you're not here when His Ephemeral Holiness arrives. Oh, speak of the devil. Prosecutor Salmari? Detective Sky. It seems you've spoken at length with these 2 lawyers. I do hope you've also kept an eye on them. Yes, of course. Like a hawk, they didn't touch a single thing. Give a lawyer an inch and they'll take a mile. Never forget that. There's that look of distrust again. Hey, Nayuta. Do you really believe that Dirk's guilty? And are you seriously going to prosecute this case? I mean, he's your father. You were once part of the Defiant Dragons, weren't you?
Hey, Nayuta! Wait! I said wait! Come on, Athena, after him! Huh? Right behind you. Anyway, so nice to see you again, Emma. Do you have any thoughts about this butterfly thing?
I think I just got like hit in the left eye with some dust or something. It suddenly got way itchy. Seemingly no new thoughts about any of this. He's lying on his front, so it's hard. We can't tell if he's missing any buttons, but we assume he is.
Nayuta! Hey!
May 18th, Garon Palace Royal Residence.
Nayuta, would you stop already?
What do you want?
It's about Dirk. Would you please hear me out?
I fail to see why I should. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Hold it! Nayuta!
Are you afraid of what I might have to say? If not, then there's no harm in listening, right? Very well. Speak. But make it quick. There is much I must do. Why does everything have to be so difficult with you? Anyway, I was just kidding. I don't really have anything to say.
I am an attorney.
Why is that badge before me? Remember how we used to talk about what we wanted to be back when we were kids? I wanted to be a lawyer, and you a prosecutor. You said you wanted to prosecute bad guys to make sure they got punished. Yes, passing judgment upon evil. That is my calling. And it is why I have taken this case. Are you saying Dirk is evil? He who goes against what is righteous and holy, I shall reap his soul with all my power, whoever he may be, for that is my role. I'll just have to defend his soul with all my power, Nayuta. The putrid-minded lawyer seeks information from me?
Come on, throw me a bone here.
I think not. Aren't we stingy? Alas, another soul has departed this world and must now be guided to the Twilight Realm.
You would even hold last rites for a kidnapper like Minister Inga?
Criminals, too, must be given funerary rites. Deny that, and their soul will return malevolent, bringing woe upon the living. That is why all who pass on must receive a proper requiem. Makes sense. I mean, if I were murdered, I'd probably be pretty keen on revenge, too. Tell you the truth, this butterfly pendant almost looks like something Nayuta would wear. Not that I recall ever seeing it on him.
Let's chat, you!
Prosecuting Dirk.
So I know you'll be prosecuting Dirk's case, but aren't there any other prosecutors in this country? Why does it have to be you?
Her Eminence, Queen Garon, personally requested that I serve as prosecutor. I absolutely hate the sound of that. She has access to the super assassin as well and was blackmailing us somehow.
She did? That would make it hard to say no.
Her Eminence thinks highly of my prosecutorial skills.
Still, she didn't have to ask you to handle a case against your own father.
Be honest, you really don't want to do this, do you? You speak of love and sentiment.
I guess so.
I do not deny such human emotions, but the law is the law, and placing personal feelings above it is beyond reprieve. Do you disagree?
Oh, well, no, I don't disagree, but
civilizations only exist due to the confines of the law. Without them, love and sentiment would lack the fertile soil they need to flourish. Do you disagree?
No, but
the law must be obeyed. This truth sits above all else, including personal feelings. Therefore, whether or not I am the son of the accused is of no consequence. It is that simple. Or would you say otherwise?
But, come on, Apollo, tell him how wrong he is. but don't you wish it wasn't that way?
It appears I've wasted my breath on you.
And the winner is Prosecutor Son Money!
Still spewing empty words devoid of meaning or consequence, I see. You putrid red pepper.
I know I'm right, but did he have to be so eloquent about his point? It's like he's trying to cover something up with his pretty words. Apollo, I'd cut back on the debates with him if I were you. Just stick to questions like the one you wanted to ask.
Indeed. Who Dirk cares about? We're getting at who Inga was blackmailing him with, I guess, which is Nayuta, we assume, but I guess Apollo hasn't cracked that yet.
Nayuta, I wanted to ask you about that hostage situation. Inga said he had someone dear to Dirk in the palm of his hand, and he was using that person along with his hostage as leverage in obtaining the orb. That's news to me. Well, that's what Inga said.
You can kiss your chances of getting the orb goodbye.
My fay ain't my only, how shall I say, insurance, you know, Dirk.
What?
I've got someone dear to you right in the palm of my hand, see? Now that one, well, you can imagine what kinds of things I could do, right? Glad you're seeing things my way. I got the impression Dirk had no choice but to follow Inga's demands after he heard that. So who do you suppose this special person is? I wouldn't know. Liar! It's you! My bracelet's reacting. Hey, Nayuta, about what you just said.
Ouch! My bracelet's caught to my wrist! Ouch! That really hurts! What the heck's going on?
I'm wise to your tricks, you putrid pepper. That bracelet reacts to the anxieties of the people around you by squeezing your wrist. But now that I know how it works, I can make it tighten around your wrist at any time I wish. Consider this a warning. I don't know how he did it, but it renders my bracelet useless. Sort of. Such devilry is powerless in the face of the Holy Mother's blessings. Looks like your special power won't work against Prosecutor Salmati, Apollo. Yeah, I got that. I'll have to try something else. You're right. We'll just have to ask Dirk about this. It appears... Huh? You intend to go through with the trial you have no hope of winning. Grow up, Mr. Justice. We are no longer children, you and I. I'm not the one who needs to grow up, Nayuta. In case you didn't hear, I won my last case against none other than Mr. Wright. You tell him, Apollo! Is he mad? I can never tell with him. This trial is different. Your foolishness will only earn you a death sentence for aiding and abetting a criminal. And those who die as criminals are doomed to be reborn in the next life as something lower than a bug or vegetable. You would be lucky to return to this realm as a patch of mold. Mold? That's pretty harsh. If you wish to avert such a fate, abandon this folly before it is too late. I don't care if I end up as a dollop of blue cheese dressing in my next life. I'm going to defend Dirk in court! You fool. Know this. I intend to prosecute the accused with all my might, no matter what you say or do. Consider yourself forewarned. Now, if you will excuse me. Yeah, you're excused! So that was pretty intense. And we'll be following up with it next time on Starting Spirit of Justice, because that is all the time we have for now. Next video on the channel is going to be another compilation of moments where I referenced stuff, because I do that a lot. After which will be more A Starting Spirit of Justice. We'll be carrying on from this plot thread here. So I feel like we've investigated the crime scene pretty thoroughly. Now what we ought to do is go get some more info from Dirk, and we're probably going to run into one or two people to talk to even still. So hang on a minute. Queen Khura'In and Inga are in their 40s, as is Dirk. But Dirk was romantically involved with Khura'In's mother, so she was like 20 years older than him? When did that happen? Well, how did... Khura'In isn't Dirk's child, because it's only 2 years older than her, and she was 20 when when he and Namara were romantically intertwined, if that's not a lie. Odd, but I must admit, not entirely out of character. And that is all for now. Thank you so very much for coming around. Hopefully I'll see you around. Admiral's gonna be out of here now.
Peace!
Hey! Whoa! What did I do to deserve this? This seems like an all-around misstep, if I'm honest. Game, do you really want to remember dying, killing an innocent, cute anime girl like me? Like, for that was not really anime. You know what I mean? She's cute! Don't kill cute!